Roku. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they're the largest now in the game, right? I suppose. Previously, when I heard of them, that was like a few years ago already. But yeah. I mean, God, this pandemic's been 2 years, guys.
Time flies when you're having fun at home, working from home, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm having fun, but Roku has been around. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, for our listeners in Asia, because Roku essentially has non-existent market share here. They are essentially an OS for TVs. So you have Android, you have Apple for phones. What Roku does is they install their software and they are the OS for TVs, so you can access your Netflix apps, your YouTube ads, all of that, right? And what's changed is that they had a dispute with Google about whether their platform could show YouTube and YouTube TV. And thankfully, as a shareholder of Roku, that has now been resolved, and the share price went up 10%. I mean, it's down 40%, from like 3 months ago, but whatever, right?
Yes,
Small wins.
Yes. We'll take whatever we have, guys.
Yeah. A green day feels so much better than a red day.
I know, but just want to say that's not how investing should be. But I know, but I know it's nice. It's nice to feel that.
It's the psychology,
Yes,
let's put it that way. It's just managing emotions.
It is. And I think for Roku, it's an interesting position because previously when they were getting battered by Google, and not just Google, right? Many other people also gave them a lot of problems. But Google was the biggest problem, because I mean, you get the idea, right? But previously Roku wasn't that big in the space yet, right? But during this whole pandemic, they really grew and they got to a whole new level, right? So I think it's on Google's part, it's a little bit like, oh, this kid is no longer as kid anymore. Like they're serious now, right? So in this transition, I think the incentive structures have changed for Google to be able to want to say like, oh, okay, maybe we can work with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, right? I saw the whole dispute thing as Google trying to wear two hats. So, they wanted to have their own OS for TVs, which is a different form of Android. And, they were like, oh, wait, we actually are giving services or earning money through this platform, Roku. I want to incentivize my own platform. So let me, push them a bit to see whether they fold and I can get better terms. Or I just withdraw my services altogether and, advantage my Google OS or TV OS, which is anti-competitive conduct if you think about it. But let's not go there, right? So I mean, I am extremely positive that Roku got something out of this. Google wanted to strengthen their competitive advantage, and it ended up. I mean, we don't know the exact terms of the agreement, but it seems very much like they couldn't, and I think this is just a bit of an indication of Roku's kind of bargaining position in the entire market.
But why do you think this is important? I think for our listeners tuning in, like, why is it important that Roku in some way won this discussion? Or at least, we came to a truce.
Yep.
Right? So why is this important?
Well, I mean, think about it, right? Roku is essentially all they are is a platform. And they want to have Netflix, they want to have Disney on it. Can you imagine switching on the TV, you wanting to watch some videos and realizing, oh, wait, your TV doesn't allow you to stream Netflix. What's the point of the TV then, right? And that's the same for Google and YouTube. If you want to watch a simple YouTube video on your TV, you don't want to pick up your phone, open Chromecast, stream it to your TV, and then that's just too many steps. You want it native, right? So for Roku, it's really just accessibility and then showing that they are an interesting platform to be on. Quite interestingly, they don't actually take revenue share from Google. So, for instance, if it was Google on the iPhone, they would pay 30% of revenues to Apple as the App Store gatekeeper in that sense, right? That's the whole anti-competitive discussion there. Roku doesn't really take a single cent from Google for providing the platform service. So in that sense, the commercial benefit for Roku was really quite tangible. It's just being the best or being more widely available. And whereas it poured like tens of millions of dollars into YouTube because apparently in the US, about 40% of TVs are Roku TVs, which is a lot of penetration actually.
Yeah. Very big penetration. I mean, that's how they started, right? They really started out as a spin-off from the whole Netflix shenanigan, trying to do the hardware stuff, right? And look at where they are today doing OSs, right? So it's quite interesting, right? It's kind of like Square, in some ways, right? The small little dongle when it first started, just that thing, and then it grew. It becomes an OS because. Why does it become an OS? Because the platform is so big now. Everyone uses it. And so now it becomes a platform and not a product anymore. So then it becomes an operating system on top of that platform, right? So I think that's where Roku becomes exciting.
Yeah, and you can sell ads on it. I think it's fantastic. I mean, that Square thing is really interesting. I think Amazon had a Fire TV stick as well, which was also the same dongle that allowed you to do streaming. Clearly that didn't work out. Amazon Prime is nowhere, but look, I am bullish, right? I mean, that's the reason I'm a shareholder, but I think that it's a growing space. Competition, it's important, but they are winning in a sense, and it really kind of validates, for a growth stock, the TAM, right? So, I mean, if they can beat the competition, it's going to be something to watch out for.
Cool, yes. And I came across a report talking about the TAM, total addressable market, by the way, guys, TAM. I've never called it TAM. But okay, TAM.
It's too long, come on.
Yes, I get it. Okay, so TAM is growing, right? In a sense that TV on demand, which is what traditionally has been going on with this revolution of Netflix and Disney Plus, where everybody, you got to pay, to be on the stream, it's already very saturated and very big, by US standards, and maybe also in a lot of other global spaces. And now you're seeing the growth of ad-supported TV, which is where Roku is playing in, right? Which is a place where, it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like TV old days, but now the ads are done by a different bunch of people, no longer as native to the content creators, but a lot more on the platform. So the platform is taking the money from the advertisers, right? And not the content creators, or at least not so directly the content creators, which is what is happening broadcast today, right? So I think that's the interesting part, right? Where you see, it's not just about streaming anymore. Now free on demand, like free TV with ads supported, can also be quite viable.
Yeah, I mean, streaming has many different models, right? We are very used to Netflix, and it's, free, and it's completely, well, not free, but it's completely ad-free, subscription-based model, but there's a lot like Discovery with some sort of hybrid, right?
It's a lot of native ads, by the way.
Yes.
That's a whole different discussion altogether. Ad-free, 真的吗? Right? Ad-free.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about product placement later, right? But I mean, other than that, you don't get interrupted by commercial breaks, right? Unlike linear TV. So, that's something I think I like it as a trend, but we'll see how it goes with Roku. I mean, we are in Singapore, or I'm in Singapore for now at least. You don't see Roku TVs anywhere, I would say. It's all dominated by Samsung, who has their own OS and all of that.
Yes. Nice. So is there any other core takeaways for us? How would you play this thing, right? I know you guys always ask this question. How would you play it?
I'm a shareholder, so I'll keep holding.
Okay,
I'm a shareholder, so
I'm a shareholder also,
right.
Just saying. Yes, I'm a shareholder too, guys, right? Just to put a proclamation there, but it's not recommendation.
Yeah, not recommendation.
Yes.
We're just full disclosure, right? So I'll keep
Yes.
holding. I think if the Fed minutes come out bad and we are just going to keep going down, we can add more to it. It seems like it's slightly risky because it has to play out in a medium to long term, but I think the benefits could be great, right? You are looking potentially at a market leader of a huge market, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, the courts cut and they all go to Roku.